On Thai PBS World Tonight, after over a year in captivity by Hamas, 5 Thai hostages have finally returned home. Thailand's Prime Minister defends power cuts to border towns in Myanmar, saying that protecting Thais must come first. And concerns over high public debt after the approval of the Thai-Chinese railway project. And good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nat Bunna.
I'm Frank Kanshi.
Finally, you're back.
Yeah, finally I'm back. Back on news stories this time, of
Exactly.
course.
And we'll begin tonight with some heartwarming stories that the world has been watching, which was the return of 5 Thais to their homeland after they have been held captive by Hamas militants for over a year due to the ongoing war in Israel. And this particular moment was when the 5 former Hamas hostages arrived back in Thailand on Sunday morning, and they were welcomed by their families at Suvarnabhumi International Airport. So you can see the moments where the former hostages reunited with their families, and you could see that their family members were in tears of joy because they could finally be reunited once again. And the 5 former hostages are named as Wacharasi Uwan, a native of Udon Thani province, Pongsak Thanna, a native of Buriram province, Satien Suwankam, a resident of Nong Bulampu, Surasak Lamnao, a resident of Udon Thani, and Banawat Sathau, a resident of Nan province. So these 5 Thais have returned to Thailand already, and these Thais had been working in agriculture in areas surrounding the Gaza Strip when they were kidnapped. And during the welcome ceremony at the Suvarnabhumi airport, Pongsak said that all of them were thankful for those involved in the rescue and the repatriation back to Thailand. And he also said that they're really happy that they got to return to their homeland. So let's have a listen to what they had to say.
ขอบคุณท่านนายกกระทรวงการต่างประเทศและก็ท่านนายกกระทรวงแรงงานและก็พี่ๆเจ้าหน้าที่ทุกคนที่เกี่ยวข้องนะครับผมที่มีส่วนช่วยเหลือพวกเราให้ออกมาวันนี้มายืนอยู่ตรงนี้นะวันนี้นะครับก็จะมีวันนี้ไม่ได้นะครับถ้าไม่มีพวกท่านเหล่านี้ให้ความช่วยเหลือนะครับพวกเราทุกคนก็รู้สึกซาบซึ้งและก็ดีใจเป็นอย่างมากครับที่ได้กลับมาแผ่นดินเกิดอีกครั้งหนึ่งครับผม
Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Minister Marisingyampong, who was also there at the airport, said that this particular moment was very special because these Thais have not seen their families for many years. And these families even said that they never thought that this moment would ever come. And Marit took this opportunity to thank all the countries involved in the rescue of the captives.
น้ำตาของความปลื้มปิติของครอบครัวเป็นสิ่งสำคัญที่สุดสำหรับกำลังใจของข้าราชการอย่างผมอย่างข้าราชการของกระทรวงต่างประเทศกระทรวงแรงงานต้องขอขอบพระคุณทุกๆหน่วยงานรวมทั้งทหารนะครับท่านผู้บัญชาการทหารสูงสุดที่ได้ไปกับผมในวันแรกที่ได้ทราบข่าวต้องขอขอบคุณมิตรประเทศทุกประเทศที่ให้ความช่วยเหลือเรามาโดยตลอด
The Labour Permanent Secretary Bun Song Thapchayut, who was at the airport on that day as well, told the media that about 30,000 Thais who were evacuated from Israel when the war with Hamas began in October 2023 have returned there to work. And one Thai hostage is still believed to be held captive by Hamas, and the Thai government is trying to secure his release with the help of other countries. And what you're seeing right now is the former hostages where they have returned to their home provinces, and you can see that they were welcomed by many people in the community because this is something that people never thought that it will come, because people have been waiting to find out whether they are still alive or not.
And this is the moments that, of course, those family of these 5 former captives got rid of heartbroken period, and right now it's the heartwarming moments that the families, the captives, and the government, Thai government, really put the efforts to get them back. And this is the story of the success of international relations too, because Thailand really worked with relevant countries to get them back. It's a very hard work there because since the war began maybe 15 months ago, and we can see so many captives, including Thai captives right now, and they are back. But we still have to put our focus on the one still in Gaza, in Hamas' hands.
Exactly, and even though most of the former captives have returned to their home provinces, there is some information from the Labor Ministry that they have given some incentives to financially help these 5 Thais who were rescued, and these Thais got 600,000 baht each upon their return, and each of them will earn 30,000 baht each month up until they're 80 years old, on the condition that they must not return to Israel for work. So this is what the Labor Ministry has given to these 5 former captives.
Of course, this is the way to help them in a way that, of course, they lost their job, and maybe in Thailand they still need some time to get back to normal lives.
Exactly, but as long as they are safe, now they are back in their home country, reunited with their friends and family in Thailand. This is actually an achievement, not just the Thai government, but also many other countries involved. And now let's turn to the aftermath of the electricity cuts to Myanmar border towns with aims to disrupt scam centers. And although the Thai government reassured that this will not affect the citizens in Myanmar, unfortunately, there are repercussions which have led to protests in Myanmar. And protesters in some Myanmar border towns staged demonstrations against Thailand's decision to cut power and fuel supplies in an effort to curb the increasing percent of scam call centers there. And they have also called for boycotting on products from Thailand as well. And in light of this, Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra said that she is aware of the protests on the Myanmar side, but she said that it is her first priority as the country's leader to take care of the Thai people first, stating that every government has to prioritize protecting its citizens anyway. So let's have a listen.
ก็อย่างที่บอกอะค่ะว่าต้องดูแลคนของเราก่อนนะคะเพราะว่าดิฉันเป็นนายกของประเทศไทยนะคะก็ดูแลประเทศไทยก่อนแล้วก็คิดว่าทางนั้นเขาก็ต้องดูแลคนในประเทศของเขาเช่นกันทุกประเทศต้องดูแลคนของตัวเองนะคะ
แต่มึงเขาจะต่อต้านไม่ซื้อสินค้าเรา
ค่ะเรื่องนั้นจริงๆก็เดี๋ยวคุยกันในรัฐบาลต่อรัฐบาลคุยกัน
And to give you a recap, last week, Thailand decided to cut electricity to 5 border townships in Myanmar. And this is an effort to tackle call center scams, as it has been discovered that a massive amount of electricity from Thailand was being used to power these call centers in Myanmar. And the Thai government has ordered the Provincial Electricity Authority to cut electricity supplies to 5 locations where such scam cities are located. And apart from cutting off electricity, they also decided to cut oil supplies and internet services to those townships. And the locations include 2 in Taki Lake Township, 2 in Mierawadi, where the infamous scam cities like Shwe Koko and KK Park are located, and also 1 in Payatongsu Township. And following the electricity cuts, Myanmar citizens are heavily affected, with tons of people having to travel across the border to fill up their tanks. So you see that many of the cars were queuing up in petrol stations just to fill up their tanks because of the oil supplies were being cut from Thailand to those border townships. And meanwhile, all petrol stations in Masai district of Chiang Rai province have been ordered not to fill jerry cans or other containers with fuel. The urgent order was issued by Chiang Rai's deputy governor, where he said that gas stations are required only to refuel vehicles in accordance with the Fuel Control Act. He also revealed that a number of motorists from Myanmar who came to Masai to refuel their vehicles were found to be bringing various containers filled with petrol as well. But even though the Thai government has made a very bold move to cut electricity, petrol, and internet services to Myanmar, you can see that the repercussions were hit hard.
These are the stringent policies from Paetongtarn Shinawatra's administrations, because at this moment, of course, this has followed by the incident of Wang Xing.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's because of the international relations and the power struggle too, because of course China, our President Prime Minister already met Chinese Xi Jinping there last week to talk about how to tackle this scam city issues there. And this is one of the beginning to really curb this scam city. But of course, we see some repercussions at the border, as in, of course, you talk about the petrol limitations and internet services cut there. But I think, of course, Prime Minister Paetongtarn here is at the right place, as in she has to put the interest, advantage of Thai people in Thailand at the first place.
We also have to mention that China also complimented on Thailand's efforts to tackle cross-border scams. And even during Paetongtarn's recent visit in Beijing, she has received a lot of compliments from the Chinese government as well. And with the electricity cuts to Myanmar already affecting local citizens, how this might affect the relations between Thailand, Myanmar, and even China. So let's find out more in the special report.
Cutting off electricity is a clear signal to China or to other countries that we treat this scam operation along the Thai border seriously.
This is the third day in Thai Kilik district of Myanmar, where residents have been living without electricity, diesel, and internet from Thailand. After decisive action was taken by the Thai government in cutting off these public utilities to so-called scam cities along the border. Geographically, the power and supplies were cut in 5 locations in some Myanmar border towns opposite the northern and western provinces of Thailand, namely Kanchanaburi, Tak, and Chiang Rai. Phayatongsu Township, opposite the 3 Pagoda Pass district in Kanchanaburi province. Ban Mueang Dang and the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge in Thai Kilik Township, opposite Ma Sai district in Chiang Rai. The second Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge and Ban Hoi Muang in Mewadi Township, opposite Ma Sot district in Thailand's Tak province. The decisive action was taken after a field visits by a Chinese delegation led by Liu Zhongyi, Chinese Assistant Public Security Minister, seeking cooperation in combating the scammers. Before this, there was a controversy that Thai authorities were passing the buck. Thai PM Paetongtarn Shinawat, however, responded that there was no hesitation and the action was taken this week on February 5th.
Well, it took a long time because it involved many parties. The first party we have to do is the Thailand G2G relations with Myanmar. And then we have also relation with China. And then another level is that Thailand has a long border, so you have this ethnic armed group. So the Thai authority have to put things together. And also one of the most important factor, also Thai Prime Minister is visiting Beijing this week.
Some critics, however, say that Thailand finally took some action only because of the Chinese government's pressure. Kawi Jongkit Thawon, a veteran journalist on regional affairs, partially agrees.
I think China treats this matter very seriously because its impact on the Chinese citizen, and that's very important. And that is why China has really, urged Thailand, to really come out with a stringent measure at the border.
There are reportedly over 6,000 people of 21 nationalities being detained to work in the scam cities, and more than half are Chinese nationals. The Chinese government took stronger action after the case of the Chinese actor who was tricked into traveling to Thailand and was kidnapped to work for these gangs in Mewadi in Myanmar. Gawi sees that the electricity cut was a right move.
I think it's the future's trajectory of Thai-China relation in the suppressing, combating transnational crimes will be further strengthened because the scam core has a great impact not only Thailand, China, but beyond this bilateral relation. It's actually not only Southeast Asia, but around the world. You have many nationalities, the Japanese, the Ethiopians, some Africans. So I think it will intensify in the future because to combat scam core, it's not a one-shot affair.
Gawi also thinks that the government should come up with long-term solutions, and that is in the area of immigration.
And also, I think there must be a stringent screening of people who come to Thailand. At the moment, Thailand have suspended the so-called TM6 immigration form. So sometimes it's very difficult to trace those who come to Thailand and go through Thailand. So it's very important because Thailand wants to use biometric as a modern technology, but somehow immigration has not yet completed the whole system.
Suspending public utility supplies to Myanmar did not really last long, as those cities have been assisted by purchasing of electricity from Laos and using generators. What has to be kept in mind is that the impact of power suspension also affects the general public, schools, and hospitals. The impact also spreads to Thai residents living near the border, such as near the Mui River in Mahsot in Tak province. Locals were complaining long before the power cuts.
So basically, because they run like entertainment complex, so a lot of noises from the clubs, the bars, the KTV that is really loud, and on top of that is the noise of the generators. So at night, when everything is quiet, the noise of these music, loud music, and the noise of the generator really disturb the people who live along the Mui River opposite of the KK Park.
For years, Thailand has been targeted by call center scam gangs using fake calls and messages. Even the Thai Prime Minister has received a scam call. Over 500,000 cases were reported between March 2022 and June 2024, with losses reaching billions baht. The costs were not only financial, but also the dreams and hopes of trafficked victims being detained to work for these gangs. The general response is positive to the Thai government's decision to cut off one of the most important components in scam operations, electricity. But any longer-term measures remained unknown. Warisala Sehan reporting for Thai PBS World.
We have to say that China has been taking this issue very seriously because many of the Chinese people have fallen victim to these human trafficking rings and also these call center scams as well, including the case of Wang Xing, who has been lured there as well.
And as well, this topic also discussed in the meeting between President Shinawatra and Xi Jinping there and other high level officials there to how to really curb these scam cities issues because of course this already affects the Thailand's tourism, as in some Chinese tourists, they are considering coming to Thailand, as in the safety concern is their first priority. So that's why I think both governments right now, they want to really curb this and resolve this issue immediately this year. But we still have to see if two governments will really put a very strong policy here to really shut down, would it be possible, or a little bit mitigate the issue here?
Exactly, but the analysts analysts actually said that the electricity cuts is actually the right move in order to curb the call center scams where many people have fallen victim.
But this might be a short-term way to do it because, of course, at the end, maybe Myanmar government and Thailand's government will really talk about this to solve that. But how about the long-term plan to really turn that down? So actually, we have to talk about Thailand a little bit because this time we see linking to China too, but it's on railway because, of course, the second phase of Thai-Chinese high-speed railway has been approved by the cabinet. But the Ministry of Finance already warned that the public debt might rise to the legal level, 70%. So we will see how Thailand government can solve that. Despite the project's high economic return, estimated at around 12% once fully operational, its financial return remains low. The government has therefore decided to assume responsibility for infrastructure investment while the State Railway of Thailand, or SRT, will finance the procurement of train carriages and essential systems through borrowing. However, given Thailand's concurrent large-scale infrastructure projects, including the double-track railway expansion, the Ministry of Finance concerned that public debt levels could approach the legal ceiling of 70% of GDP. According to the Public Debt Management Office, the public debt declined from 64.41% in November to 63.92% in December. As a result, the Ministry of Transport has been urged to prioritize critical infrastructure investment and to ensure the timely completion of Phase 1, which has already faced delays. The government has also called for an expedited feasibility study on public-private partnerships for the operation of services on the Bangkok-Nong Khai route. Passengers and freight projections have also come under scrutiny, with authorities calling for more accurate forecasting models that consider demographic trends and potential declines in population growth. Meanwhile, the success of the high-speed rail project is seen as closely tied to the construction of the second Thai-Lao Friendship Bridge in Nong Khai, as well as a cargo transfer center. Authorities are now pushing for these projects to be accelerated in order to ensure seamless connectivity between Thailand, Laos, in China, and to enhance regional trade and transport efficiency. So, of course, you can see this is a good sign for Thailand to expedite the Phase 1 and approve Phase 2 to Nong Khai. But how about the debt issue there? Because 70% might be quite high in ASEAN countries when you compare to each other. And right now it's already at 63%. But how about in the future, the budget issue there?
With the Thai government trying to push for more infrastructure, especially when it's connected with nearby countries, but the issue that remains a debate is the public debt that is increasing.
Yeah, and of course, and we can see some power struggle again in this kind of interconnective projects between countries, because who will get the benefits, who will build that infrastructure project will be the key. So we will see, of course, in the future, maybe in 5 to 8 years, from Bangkok to Nong Khai, we can take the high-speed rail.
Well, that would be fun, but this would not only benefit the tourists, but of course, regional trade that will be boosted as well.
And the mega plan from China to Singapore in the future, we will see that. And right now, turn our page to social media drama there, because we have seen, we call this hot soup incident. The incident took place last week where 2 university students allegedly poured hot soup on a junior student, which caused uproar among the LGBTQ community. Pathum Thani police have detained 2 fourth-year students at Bangkok University for allegedly pouring hot soup on a junior student last Wednesday. The superintendent of Klong Luang Police said yesterday that police are considering criminal association charges against the 2 suspects, in addition to the assault charges already filed. The 2 suspects are reported to be members of an LGBTQ group at the university. The incident led to gathering of about 1,000 members of the LGBTQ community at a condominium building in Rangsit on Saturday night to demand that the two perpetrators apologize to their victims who sustained scalp injuries in the attack. Yesterday, Gantap Pompai Punwe, better known as Ganjong Palang, a self-made crusader for victims of crime, escorted 3 other youths who claimed to have been assaulted by the same 2 suspects to file complaints with Klong Luang police. The 3 youths are not connected with the hot soup assault, adding that he will ask the police to investigate them over an alleged extortion attempt. Bangkok University issued a statement today that the 2 suspects involved in the hot soup incident will be fired from the university effective from today. This follows its statement issued yesterday, which says that it does not condone violence in any form, adding that it has set up a fact-finding committee to investigate the assault case. It had also agreed to cover the victims' medical fees, provide legal consultation, and arrange for psychiatrists if needed. President of the University Student Council said in his Facebook post that the victim, whose identity remains confidential, is a key member of the council who has helped in several projects. He demanded that the 2 suspects be expelled from the university. Meanwhile, the Miss Teen Trans Thailand organizing committee has decided to remove Miss Teen Trans Phetchaburi 2025 from the beauty contest this year for her alleged involvement in the hot soup attack. The Miss Teen Trans Phetchaburi offered an apology via Facebook, admitting to being present when the violent assault took place, but was afraid to intervene. So you can see, of course, these suspects already being taken into the investigation. But I think on social media, we already seen those videos trendy there that using hot soup to really punish in their ways for a person, an individual, is not acceptable.
Well, we do not condone to violence or bullying, but for those who have seen the video that went viral on Thai social media, that is considered very shocking. Just someone pouring hot soup all over someone's body, that is enough to give you severe burns. Speaking of the power of the LGBTQ community, you can see that over thousands of LGBTQ people gathered in front of a condominium to call out on the 2 suspects for being involved in this hot soup incident. So this simply shows that the LGBTQs are just ready to gather together just to condemn someone here.
But for the disclaimer, we don't want to see any further physical violence, because we see the physical violence between these 2 parties there are already shocking for Thailand's society, especially they are just university students in one famous university in Thailand. So of course we've seen authorities, no matter it's in the university or police station, they already take this into account, and we will see how it goes in the future. But we don't want to see any physical violence again.
Exactly. But even though the 2 suspects have been dismissed from university, but those who were allegedly involved in this incident have received punishments as well. But and on the other side of it, the demonstrations were pretty wild. Thousands of LGBTQ people. And we also have to mention that this is actually not the first time where LGBTQ people held protests. If we remember around last year, the LGBTQ people gathered at Sukhumvit Soi 11 following a brawl between Thai and Filipino LGBTQs. And the recent one is that the LGBTQs gathered together just to show them that they do not condone to violence, despite the fact that the perpetrator is also an LGBTQ.
Yeah, but at the end, of course, in the Sukhumvit Soi Sip at 11 there, we've still seen some violence after the incident. So this time, of course, we see the, I would call it LGBTQ power there. 1,000 members of LGBTQ community gathered together to support and help for the victim.
Yep.
But of course, people have to ใจเย็นๆ calm
Yeah.
down there.
ใจเย็น
That
but
we put it for the legal system to work for that.
Yeah, ใจเย็นthat would be a key word, not just for one particular person, but pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ